NBA Finals. Historic matchup between the Toronto Raptors and the reigning champs, the Golden State Warriors.
It's just like anything in sports. You want to see a dynasty end. We don't.
What's it like to see a guy like Drake and the antics on the sideline?
It's entertainment.
I'm excited to see him go crazy, but I'm more excited, hopefully, to make him go quiet, because that would be a lot better outcome for all of us.
What's up, Dub Nation? You're watching Dubs on Digital. I'm Julianne Herrera, a digital producer here at ABC 7 News.
And I'm Dustin Dorsey, a community journalist here at the station, and we are so excited for this. This is the digital pre-game show for Game 1 tonight between the Warriors and the Toronto Raptors. This is an interactive experience here, folks. We want to hear from you. We want your pictures. We want your questions. We are on all of our ABC 7 platforms here tonight. YouTube, Facebook Live, as well as on the website and on our app. So send us questions, send us pictures using the hashtag DubsOn7. We want to get this conversation starting. We're going to start our conversation here. We're back once again, 5 years in a row. How crazy is it to be here again?
Straight finals. Crazy for Steve Kerr that he's the only coach in NBA history to, as a rookie coach, go 5 for 5 straight finals.
It's unbelievable.
That's incredible.
He goes from being the sideline reporter to the big stage. He's been obviously won several rings as a player as well. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he hit 300 wins this year. They're on a roll, unfortunately still without Kevin Durant, but we do have some good news about number 0.
Yes, we do. We have some great news about DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. He's going to be playing. Is the official diagnosis for Boogie tonight. We don't know how much exactly he's going to play. We're assuming that he's probably going to come off the bench, have someone like Kevon Looney start. It's going to be good, though, to have that huge presence with the big man that Toronto have. It's
risky, though, if you're the Warriors. You don't want to push it. I mean, I think everyone's hearts broke a little bit when we saw Cousins go down, and a lot of us were like, he's been waiting for this playoff moment. 4-time NBA All-Star. He's been in the league for like a decade, and he's never been in the playoffs. And as much as we want to see him get back on the court and have a finals experience, at what cost? We would hate for him to go out there and get re-injured. So I want to see him, but I hope he treads lightly, and I hope, they don't push him on the minutes. Make his contributions if he can, and then let's get him out. Let's keep him safe so he can have a longer career and maybe be in the playoffs again in the future.
Absolutely. Selfishly, obviously, we want to see him. We want to see Boogie out there dunking, doing his thing. But you're absolutely right. Minutes are going to be really important in this series. Toronto runs mostly an 8-man lineup, and our slogan, strength in numbers. That's what we do. That's what we are. We have a deep bench.
Yeah.
So pulling Boogie off the bench, talk about a boost from a team that's coming off of a sweep already. That could be huge for us.
Just from an energy standpoint. But as far as Kevin Durant, I don't know if we'll see him at all in this finals series.
Yeah, it's getting a little scary for the back-to-back finals MVP. He did make the trip, which is a positive sign for things. He's practicing with the team a little more than he has been doing, but that calf strain is keeping him out for Game 1. Steve Kerr says that it's going to be questionable for Game 2, but it's looking likely out for that one as well. How do you think that's going to change things for the Warriors without having KD?
I think it's just going to be like going in the time machine and seeing that 2015 Warriors. I think the team that we had before Kevin Durant came, when everyone was sitting around going, are we really going to get Kevin Durant? We're already so good. That's the team we have to fall back on. That's the team that just swept the Trailblazers in the Western Conference Finals. That's the team that finished off Houston. So it's just a different basketball. But I think either way, this is going to be a series for them to win. And we want to say thanks again for being with us on Dubs on Digital. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Julianne Herrera, a digital producer here.
I'm Dustin Dorsey. We're talking leading right up to Game 1 tonight for the Raptors and the Golden State Warriors. And getting back to the point you're saying about Kevin Durant, that's what we're talking about, his diagnosis being out this evening. It may not be the worst thing in the world to start preparing for maybe life without Mr. Kevin.
Yeah.
And the season's coming up. I guess the latest today that he's put his house in the Bay Area on sale. He's bought
I don't even want to go there. I want to keep it about the finals. I don't want to think about Warriors without KD. Let's just stay and enjoy this 5th straight finals, the last finals at Oracle. And if Kevin Durant does come back in this series, he's going to be facing a former teammate in Serge Ibaka, who I think, as a Raptor, is maybe on a little bit of a revenge mission at this point, because today, we talked about this earlier, is the 3-year anniversary of when the Warriors came back in the Western Conference Finals down from a 3-1 deficit and eliminated them from this series.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant was obviously still on the Thunder, and then
Yes.
he came to the Warriors after that. So that's when everyone was like, you know, you're just chasing rings. And
Yes.
so Ibaka might be on a little revenge mission this year. We want to remind you to send us your comments and questions and pictures. Hashtag Dubs on7 if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I got my nails done all special for this. I know Dustin's got some cool shoes.
Yes, yes.
Let's bring the
these
shoes out.
My friend Connor Snow, he's an artist in San Jose. You know, these are custom. These are Warrior fan shoes, and I know that you
nice.
guys got things like this as well. So go ahead, send us your best pictures. Send us your fan.
Pets, your
Yes.
babies, your cars. You got the Warriors flags on your plate. Like, we want to see all your cool stuff. And soon we're gonna have our own sports director and anchor Larry Beal stopping by the show, and possibly other cast members of our After the Game show, which will be on ABC7 after the game, of course.
Special guests. We're talking with you. So I haven't seen any questions yet here, folks. Come on, everybody. Let's get those questions in there.
Yeah, if you're on the Facebook live stream, just fire away. Especially when Larry comes over, he loves to take questions. We'll just light Larry up with your questions. So, moving on to another Raptor is obviously the. How can we not talk about Kawhi Leonard in a pregame countdown?
Yeah, he's going to be a problem for the Warriors, I think, in this season, in this series. You know, he pretty much has carried this team to this point. This was a group that was one of the top seeds in the East a year ago. You make the trade for Kawhi, and this is what you're getting. He's a 2014 Finals MVP. He's a guy that has this experience in the playoffs, knows how to win basketball games, and he does it on both the offensive and defensive side of the floor, and that's going to be something the Warriors really need to address.
And we were saying about Serge Ibaka being on a revenge mission. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, he went out with that injury in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals when Zaza Pachulia came down on his foot, and that series went out the window. A year of his career went out the window, and then he had that awkward kind of breakup with the Spurs. Got traded to Toronto kind of against his will, and now here he is back against a Warriors team that he hasn't ever gotten past in the playoffs. He has gotten past the Warriors in the playoffs, but not in the Steve Kerr era. So this is a big, I think, step in Kawhi Leonard's career as far as just personal accolades.
I mean, you got to believe it. You know, that injury to the Warriors, if that doesn't happen, maybe the Raptors aren't here at this point. Maybe Kawhi is still in San Antonio. Maybe we're talking about a whole different team because they were doing pretty well against the Warriors in that series. But, you know, right now, how about a little insight, a guy that knows about both of these teams here. We have our sports anchor coming in right now, Larry Beal, joining the broadcast.
What's going on?
How you doing, Larry?
We're on the interwebs?
We're on the interwebs.
We're doing this thing.
This is you.
This is me?
There you go.
Come on down.
And
Be careful.
while we're on the subject of like kind of Kawhi Leonard seeing the Warriors again since his injury from Zaza, I actually saw something going around social media, a picture of Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr sitting down for dinner.
Right.
Do you think there was some Kawhi Leonard tea being spilled there? Like, was Popovich giving him all the DL on Kawhi?
As much as you can, do that, but I mean, Kawhi Leonard is a known entity at this point. What people don't know is that Coach Popovich has a condo in San Francisco. He's a huge wine guy, and so he's up in Napa Valley all the time. So I have no doubt that most of their conversation was probably about wine. As bizarre as that sounds, because I mean, what is he gonna tell Steve Kerr? Kawhi's good. Look out.
Better watch out.
They call him the Claw. Look at how big his hands are. His hands are enormous.
Enormous.
I'll throw it back to a guy before your time, but there's a guy by the name of Connie Hawkins many years ago, and
the Hawk talons.
Yeah, I mean, he could just palm the ball so easily.
Yeah.
And he would just, and Kawhi does the same thing. So. it would have been fun to have been a fly on the wall in that restaurant with Coach Kerr and
Absolutely.
with Coach Popovich. But in terms of strategy, I don't think there's a lot of secrets about what you might do to try to stop him,
Right.
because I mean, he's a great player. He's going to get his. You just got to try to hold everybody else down.
And as great as he is he going to be able to be enough for the Raptors in this series?
Well, he's been playing out of his mind. I think it's really going to come down to the others, and maybe you guys talked about some of this, but how does Kyle Lowry play?
Yeah.
How does Pascal Siakam play? Danny Green has finals experience with the Spurs, but he's not been shooting the ball well. So, do you get a big game from Norman Powell or somebody like that? Oh, we got Patrick McCaw. My goodness.
What do we say about Patrick McCaw?
This is one of the really frustrating stories. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel bad for him because, for people that don't know the story, basically he was under contract to the Warriors. He forced his way out because, for unknown reasons, he said he didn't want to be on this team anymore.
He was drafted by them.
Right, and so
Yeah.
this would have been year 3 for him. And, he had a serious spinal injury at the end of last season. I just think it really kind of messed him up. And I know a lot of people that spoke to him and said, Patrick, you want to stay with the Golden State Warriors. You don't want to force your way out. Now, his agent, who's a buddy of mine, Bill Duffy, was able to use a loophole in the contract to get Cleveland to make an offer that the Warriors chose not to match. Cleveland cut him in a week. All right, and then Toronto picked him
Yikes.
up. He plays about as much as the 3 of us will play in these finals. And so if he had stayed with the Warriors, he would be playing 15 or 20 or 25 minutes a night. The Warriors need wings, and now next year he's going to have to fight for his spot in the NBA, for any spot where he could have been a featured performer on a world championship team. I think he made a terrible mistake. He even alluded to that with some of his quotes recently, saying, if I had to do it over again, maybe I would have played my cards a little differently.
I heard he personally called Steve Kerr and said, hey, can I come back? Is it too late after the whole Cleveland thing? And he's like, yeah, dude, we've kind of moved on.
Yeah, a guy once said aloha means goodbye, and I think that's kind of unfortunate for Patrick. Otherwise, he'd be getting a lot of minutes in this series, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just joining us once again, this is Dubs on Digital. Larry Beal here, Julianne Herrera, and myself, Dustin Dorsey. We want to make sure that you're sending in your questions, comments, and pictures. You're interactive, and we want to get to the first thing right here, Larry. It's one of our first poll questions.
Okay.
They're just coming off the Warriors. They're just coming off a 4-game sweep, and they're getting help. They're getting reinforcements, guys healthy. The question is, do you think that it's going to be another sweep in this series?
Well, it's interesting you asked that question because my broadcast partner, Kerry Keating, and I are at odds on this. Kerry thinks it is going to be a sweep.
Oh, we need to get Kerry out here.
No, he is. He's getting pizza right now, so, I mean, try to drag him away from his pizza. Good luck. But I think it's going to go 6. I don't see a sweep. And here's my reasoning on it. I think that Kawhi Leonard is so good. He's arguably the best player in the game, all right? I mean, you can argue whether it's Durant or Kawhi.
Yeah.
He's going to win a game by himself, whether he goes for 40 or 45 or 50 or whatever. He's going to win a game. I also think that the quote-unquote others that we were talking about, and you guys had the graphic of, whether it's Siakam or Norman Powell or Kyle Lowry, or, Linsanity comes out of nowhere because he doesn't get many minutes either, or Serge Ibaka, those guys, they'll win another game, I believe. And so I think it'll go 6. I think it's hard. It's hard to sweep. I mean, it's going to be nuts tonight in Toronto. The fans are crazy and enthused. So I think, but the Warriors play well on the road. Sometimes they play better on the road than they do at home. I think they like going into enemy territory and just crushing everybody's hopes.
Oh, of course. Why
That's
not?
another point that I was thinking about is this is the first time we've seen them without home court advantage to start the finals.
Right.
So seeing them on the road, I wonder how that's going to affect the rest of the series. They could easily start 2-0 on the road, but then
Or 0-2.
Or 0-2, or they could split. I personally think it's going to be a split. I think they come out strong tonight and win, and then maybe they drop game 2, and then at home, are they going to keep the pedal to the metal, or are they going to get up by 20 points before halftime and then get lazy and blow a game? And so it's, the dynamics of starting on the road versus at home could be big.
Yeah, I'm thinking, though, that split would be really big for them. And, selfishly, and I think a lot of the fans here locally, we would like that 6-game prediction, because that would mean the teams winning in the final game at Oracle and everything like that. Now, that would be nice. I think the sweep would also be an Oracle thing, but I think 6 is pretty much that magic number. Get the win, like you said, tonight.
Yeah.
Probably drop game 5. Make sure you handle business at home. That's got to be the most important thing, I think, for the team. Coming off of how they did it against the Clippers earlier and losing a couple of those games. Very uncharacteristic for this Warrior roster.
Yeah, I think they like the challenge, actually, this time of starting on the road.
Yeah.
And there's something about being together with your guys, and in this case, it's the first time that they've ever played a finals outside of the United States at all in the NBA. So I think there's enough reasons, and they're going to look out at the crowd in Toronto, and they're going to want to send all those wonderful Canadian fans home.
They're going to look at Drake.
Disappointed. Man, are you a Drake fan? Do you like Drake? Do you like Drake?
I'm going to take E40 as the Warriors ambassador before I pick Drake as the Toronto ambassador. That's for sure.
I love I love the fact that he's a fan, but it's just too much. Like, I don't need you giving the coach Nick Nurse a massage during the game. You know? So, you know, he's obviously a part of what they do, but he also has tattoos of Steph and KD on his arm. He has 30 and 35 on his arm.
So like fair weather fan.
He's like whoever's winning.
Yeah.
He's on their bench or wearing their clothes, repping their whatever. You know, that's fine. He's enthusiastic. I think the league likes having him around to a point. They don't want him on the court and messing with things. In fact, I think there was a message sent from the commissioner's office that let's not let this get out of control here with him running up and down the sideline.
Yeah, it's not a Drake concert.
Right.
So we want to say thanks again for tuning in on our Dubs on Digital today. Keep sending your comments on the Facebook stream, on the YouTube stream. You can even interact and hashtag your pictures on social media with hashtag Dubs on 7 so that we can get them and share them, maybe even at the end of the segment. If not, online later, maybe on TV later. So we want to make sure that you guys are submitting all that great fan stuff.
Now, Larry, before we let you go, fan question here. Prediction from tonight. Carl Katona from San Jose asks, what's your prediction for tonight?
What's up, Carl? Sorry to shout. Prediction for tonight or prediction for the series?
Tonight. We want to hear tonight.
Tonight, I think the Warriors win. I think the Warriors win. I think it'll be a close game, and they'll pull away late once they're. I think the one problem they're going to have early on in this game, I expect Toronto to be up 10 in a flash because the Warriors will have a 9-day layoff. That's a long time to not be playing competitive basketball. You can have drills and practices and this and that, but you're not going to game speed. I think it's difficult to go from 0 to 60. And, you know, you've got the hostile environment and all that. So I think it's going to be a little feeling out process at first. It wouldn't surprise me if they got down. Well, every game against Portland, they get down 15, 16, 17. It's almost like they need that as their wake-up call.
Absolutely.
And so that.
And then three-pointers later, you know,
right, yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's no big
Scary,
deal.
though, because the Raptors were a group that were coming from behind as well against Milwaukee. So you can't just lean on, we could show up, we could come from behind.
Hey, look at these kids.
Here we go. Here's a couple fans that we're excited for the game tonight.
They got their gear on.
Oh,
there it
love
is.
that. The whole family's coordinated.
Oh, there's
Cat.
Where do you
idea.
get glasses like that for your cat?
I need to know.
dedication.
Someone tell me.
Going back to the We Believe
That's an old
logos.
school ball right
Like
there.
it. Animals. More dog pictures,
Love
animal
it.
pictures. Everybody could be Warrior fans.
Love it.
Couple cute little kids. There you go. Got all the gear ready. We went with
He's
Draymond
got a variety of jerseys.
and Boogie.
Yeah.
We got Steph, KD. Look at that. Big 4 right there. Love it. Love all the fans. Continue to send us these in, everybody. Dubs, hashtag Dubs on 7. We are getting digital here. Dubs on Digital. We are including you and all the fun. Larry, we want to thank you for being part of the action for a little bit.
My pleasure. I hope you guys do more of this.
Yeah, thanks. That's hopefully the
Well,
plan.
let's hope the team continues to win. We need more than 4 games. That will keep us going for a little while.
Start using hashtag Dubs on Digital maybe too. You know,
Hashtag Dubs on Digital.
Get that going.
I like that.
Yeah.
Get that thing started. That's why I don't want to go with Kerry Keating's prediction of a sweep. I think we need 6 games. Joe Lacob would like the extra money from another home game. It's millions and millions of dollars for every game. They'll sell a lot
Imagine
more
that game
merchandise like
6.
what you guys have.
Yeah.
And the final Oracle game, that would be Game 6. Sent everybody out with confetti and E40 and
I like it.
You know,
G-Eazy's been out there with E40
G-Eazy's.
lately too. Yeah, they're just
They
getting
close it
all
off
the.
with one final Oakland parade too.
that would be awesome. Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
plan.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for
Anytime,
coming back.
anytime.
How late are you going till?
till
We're going
tip-off,
right up to tip-off.
which, of course, is only on ABC. So have your TVs on Channel 7 so that you can watch Game 1 as soon as this is over. Yeah.
And then, of course, tune in to Larry and the crew after the game.
We'll be there.
Yep, Dubs on 7, right here, ABC 7.
Yeah, thanks so much. This was a
Good.
great time. This is a good time. I'd be
Absolutely.
here all night long if they let me. But,
Anytime. Well, we're
but-
going to watch this game here shortly, so
All right.
enjoy it.
We know you got some
Appreciate
prep
it,
to do,
Thank
Larry.
you.
All right,
Thanks for
thanks.
stopping by.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Once again, in case.
What? We
Oh
have
my gosh, we have
a
a special
surprise
guest
guest
here.
in the house.
Thank you for joining us this evening. This is Dubs on Digital. We have everybody getting excited for
Adonal.
the big game this evening, and we have a very special guest here. Warrior fans, do
You had no
recognize
idea
this
you were
guy
getting
right
called
here?
into this.
Come on down. We are live
We
right
did
now
not
here.
expect Adonal to be coming in here today, so this is a
They sneaked
great
me out,
surprise.
they give me pizza,
Yeah.
and then I got excited, and then they told me to pass this way.
Yeah.
Perfect
Oh,
timing.
so sorry.
Perfect timing.
I
Well,
mean,
hey,
we have
welcome
hardware
in.
out
We're here
here.
live on social media. We're here on our ABC7 News app. We're here on
Kinda big.
Facebook, YouTube. We want your comments and questions. We have a guy right here,
Uh-oh.
Donald Foyle, that knows
What?
about
All right.
playing a little basketball,
Just a little
huh?
bit,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Excited. I'm ready for the game to start.
Absolutely. I hear you. What are you thinking tonight? Some early predictions?
Early predictions. So I think that the big question is going to be Russ versus rest. You know, the team has been out for a little bit. So the question is, you're going to figure out, you know, whether they're going to come in, they're going to be a little rusty, or on how much the rest of it really affect them. So to me, those are the two things I'm going to be watching tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think having DeMarcus Cousins back is going to help the Warriors?
Well, I think that's a little tricky. So I've always said, like, you know, the finals is a weird place, and I think Steve Kerr alluded to it, which is if you were in the regular season, it's very easy to bring in a player into a lineup. But in the finals, when the team's starting to play a certain way, you want to make sure that the insertion of another player doesn't disrupt the flow of what they have going. So I think it's a pretty delicate stuff, which is why they pay him the big bucks to figure out when he can get a few minutes in this game. You know, maybe it's before the half. So you want to make sure you don't disrupt the chemistry that they have going, but at the same time you want to be able to use him if you need him. But I think Steve Kerr will try to figure out what the balance is for that.
And we have a question coming up for our viewers, so we'll get it started with you. If you had to guess now, who would be the Finals MVP?
Oh, Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Steph Curry.
for sure. But what if KD? What if like crazy scenario? The Warriors are struggling, and then KD comes back from injury miraculously, and then they start winning, and this, you know, and he explodes the series. Well, then it would have to be Kevin Durant, right?
Well, yeah, if the universe explodes, you know. But no, I think that, you know, this is one of those things that Steph had in his sights for a while. And I think you can argue over the last, 3 years or so that he was on par to get it. He was right behind KD.
Yeah.
I think what he has done so far in the last series and what he has done in the last two series and finish out the Houston series, I think that this is really, when you look at his game, it has gotten to another level. So you have to say to a player like that, you know, this is that last thing he's been craving, but he's at this level right now. I think you have to give it to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Donald just laid his thumb on the scale there, and it looked like Steph Curry is leading the early poll results on that. Make sure you're going on our app and our digital platforms to vote for that. So, well, thanks for joining us. What a surprise. Surprise here. Great surprise.
You know, they have pizza in the back, so anytime there's pizza, I'm always going to be around. So you want me to just bring some pizza.
He wasn't going to come, and then he heard there
There
was
you go.
pizza. So now he's
Appreciate
here.
it, Donald. Thank you.
Thanks, Donald.
There you go.
So-
You never know, everybody, who
Never
you're
know
going to
who's gonna
get on
come
this
through.
fun.
So if you want to answer that poll question, you can go to abc7news.com/vote, and you can vote for who you think the MVP is going to be. I mean, Steph is the Vegas favorite right now at -125 for that. So
There it is.
that's
We're
easy money. It's not a lot of money because it's
Yeah,
the obvious
fair.
vote. But who's more deserving? I mean, Iguodala got it the first one, then
Yeah.
KD back-to-back MVP.
Here's the early
So-
results right now. Dead even split, three-way tie between Steph, Draymond, and KD. No Clay on the list. I know we can only pick so many, but Clay
Yeah.
could be a guy that has a couple big nights, really puts things together. Like you said, Iguodala, you know,
wow.
that wouldn't be someone that would be on that list. But
Yeah, it's crazy how now it just totally flipped, and it's 67% for Steph and Curry and 33% for KD. Kevin Durant's getting a third of the vote, and he's not even active. So what does that say about Kevin Durant?
That means he is one of the best players in the world, and that we want to continue to keep him on the Warriors and win games with him, and hopefully he gets healthy really quickly.
Yes, for sure. Kawhi's on the list too, but of course, I mean, you kind of got to win to be considered, and I think him getting 0 votes kind of that shows no one thinks the Raptors are going to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
once
there's
again,
that.
If you're just joining us, thank you for being with us. Dubs on Digital. Dustin, Dorsey, Julianne, Herrera. As always, we are getting great fan interaction. Not getting a lot of questions here, folks. We're asking for questions. We want to talk to you. We want to talk to you right now at home, getting ready. We're just about 10 minutes until tip-off here for Game 1. And don't forget to continue your hashtag #DubsOn7.
Yeah,
pictures.
we want to see those pictures.
Send those in. Who's at the watch party? There's still fun here in Oakland tonight. Here's a couple Warriors fans right now.
Oh,
a couple young ones. Start them young, huh?
Oh, I love the Curry and the Green together. That's cute.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
little
it.
Twins. So if Drake does come to Oakland for a game, I was thinking how weird or kind of funny would that be if him and E40 end up sitting next to each other in a game. I mean, how is E40 going to react to Drake and his antics on the sideline?
I don't think E40 is going to want any part of Drake's antics on the side. This is his house. This E40 Oakland Bay Area. This is our territory. This is his territory.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to want any part of that. I would love a halftime rap battle. Maybe that would be pretty cool.
That would be
between
legit.
the two of them. I think fans for games 3 and 4 would certainly appreciate that one.
Very different styles, and I think a lot of people argue that Drake. Oh, there's that.
Let's go a couple facts and figures here between the two teams. Let's meet these two groups that are going to be squaring off this evening. Obviously, you know the Golden State Warriors. 5 straight NBA Finals, 3 titles in 4 years, 2 MVPs. Of course, that would be Iguodala and
Kevin
Durant. Thank you very much. How about the Raptors?
Raptors, first finals ever, so no titles yet, no MVPs yet, but as we were talking about before, that doesn't mean there's not guys on this team that don't have playoff experience. There's a lot of guys who've been here before. So
how about we get to another one of our poll questions, the final one this evening. So it seemed like earlier results for the sweep was about 80-20. You heard what Larry said, that it was probably going to be 6. Kerry Keating's thinking it's going to be a sweep. We're kind of undecided at this point. What do you guys think? Go on to our website. Make sure to go and vote for that. And we have our couple options here. We have a sweep, if you believe that that's going to be the case. Warriors in 5, Warriors in 6, closing down Oracle Arena, or the Raptors win. There is another team
there is another
trying
team.
to do something.
You could vote that the Raptors win, but it doesn't seem like people are doing that. I think it's going to be 6. I think the Raptors can pull out 2 wins just because with home court advantage and with the way the Warriors can kind of, as we talked about earlier, let their foot off the gas a little bit when they get too comfortable at home. I'm actually more worried about the Warriors when they're at home, approaching halftime, down up by 20 points, than I am when they're on the road, coming out of halftime with a deficit.
I hear you. Yeah.
Because we see them, that classic third quarter run that we see the Warriors always go on. We see that all the time on the road. But then in the third quarter at home, we see them kind of drop back a little bit. And sometimes they get in too deep of a hole, even for the Warriors.
And the Raptors are a team that came from behind a lot in their series against Milwaukee. The Warriors obviously came back in every single game against Portland. So either team is going to be able to come back if they're down. A couple stats here to throw at you guys. The Raptors are the top 3-point scoring team with 214 made threes this season. Warriors tied for the Bucks at second, 192. The top 2 teams in free throw percentage, the Warriors at the top of that list. These are teams, they like to shoot it beyond the arc. They got the playmakers, they got the weapons. So it's 2 very evenly matched teams, 2 teams that not necessarily know each other. They only played twice this season, with the Raptors winning both games, but it is going to be interesting to see what happens.
And just a reminder here, I'm Julianne. I'm a digital producer. This is Dubs on Digital. Dustin, Dorsey, community journalist, here with me. And we are just wrapping up this Dubs on Digital segment. We got about 2 minutes left. So if you have any more questions, get them in really quick in this last 2 minutes that we got here because the game's going to start soon. Keep the comments coming. Keep your pictures coming with your hashtag #Dubs-on-7 or even hashtag #Dubs-on-Digital now that this is a thing. So.
And of course, you can hit us up on our own social media. Let us know at DustinABC7. What do you got?
I'm at Jules the First 26, which is an inside joke, and I should probably end up changing that handle eventually.
That's all
but
right.
now
Creative.
we're Jules the First 26.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. All right. Hey, how about we got, you know what? That would be my sister commenting in.
Okay, what's
Let's
your
see.
sister
She
say?
would like to know our final score predictions this evening. What do you think?
I think this is going to be a feeling out kind of game where maybe we don't see as much defense. I think it's going to be messy, so I don't think it's going to get too high. I'm going to say Warriors 121 to 115.
Oh, okay. A little more high scoring than I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think the defenses are going to really lock in. 110-93 Warriors winning this one is what
That's
I
a
think.
big spread.
Yeah. It's going to be, I think having the guys back, this is going to be a different Warriors team than what happened in the regular season. We obviously, the Warriors lost one time in overtime in a closer game. They lost by 20 in another one. But I think this time they're going to get the other upper hand and lock down on defensively and handle business here.
Well, you guys need to handle business by watching this game on ABC7. You need to be a part of the Warriors, on their quest for a three-peat. We want to see another one of these.
Bring the ring
Bring
home.
the ring.
Do it for Oakland.
This
one
ring that
more
doesn't
time.
fit on any fingers.
Everybody, we want you to thank you for watching Dubs on Digital. We're going to be following along with the Warriors in their quest for another NBA title. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game.
Adios.